Okay, session number 2. Obviously, do the first session as long, as many times as you want. We're going to build on that theory, also repeating a lot of the same things. This process is a lot about repetition, just to remind us what we're doing, and it helps to build those pathways in your body. We're building neuromuscular pathways. So besides our broadening and lengthening, we're going to incorporate spirals, foot spirals, into our practice, and also hand spirals. The hand spirals are fairly easy to think about. The base of the first finger up into the opposite side of the shoulder. Maybe you can feel that when you put your arms out. Feel the base of that first finger, all the way from the fingertip really, but the base of the finger is where the information comes from and goes out to the opposite shoulder. Can you feel a kind of a rotation in the arm, almost as if the forearm is going forward and the upper arm is going backwards? If you feel it, great. If you don't, it's not important. It's only to incorporate in your practice as it appears, as your body tells you to do. The feet spiral takes from the root of the big toe, and when you're taking it down, it goes from the root of the big toe down into the heel. Generally comes when you're taking the hips up in space. You're bending your knees, but the hips are going forward to that nice lumbar curve. And the opposite spiral is from the base of the big foot out to the pinky toe and down along the outside of your legs. So as you're bending your knees in particular, think about it going from the root of the big toe down along the inside out into your heel. And the other spiral is from the root of the big toe out to the pinky toe and down to the outer side of the heel. So kind of an internal spiral this way, natural hip up, external spiral this way, bringing the lengthening in the front side of the body. Again, if you feel it, great. If you don't, it's okay. Might happen, and it might ever not. So come to the front of your mat, feet hip-width distance, as parallel as comfortably possible. For the first part, again, keep the pelvis just straight. Inhale, barely bending those legs. And exhale, bringing the palms together. Broadening the feet, broadening the hands, and lengthening in both directions, softening the face already. Soften around the pelvic floor. So it's what we're working on today. Maybe when you're ready, bending a little more, feeling that internal foot spiral, base of the big toe out to the, down the inside to the heel. And on the exhale, base of the big toe, pinky toe, and on the external side of the foot. Internal spiral, only if it feels right. External spiral. As you stand, feel it go all the way up the front of your body. Inhale, widening, broadening, lengthening. It's a lot to think about all at one time. Inhale forward, natural lumbar curve. Exhale, still broadening and taking it out. Internal spiral, external spiral. At the same time that you're thinking about these spirals, internal, external, when you're employing one, the other one is kind of counterbalancing it. So even though you're concentrating on the internal one. Now the external one is still there, and the opposite when you're employing that. Good. Take the hands, palms together, elbows on the thighs. Let your head hang. Again, here on the internal spiral, when you inhale, because we're going to bend our legs a little. Exhale, not to straighten, but straighten-ish your legs. Feel that external spiral. Inhale, still broadening the hands, lengthening the arms. Inhale, bending the knees. Feel the internal spiral, which may seem opposite. And external spiral as you take the legs more towards straight, but not straight. You're just warming up. Inhale and exhale. Take the hands above the knees, straighten the arms, and come to standing. Arms out, feet wider than hip width distance. Find the broadness in the feet. Find the broadness in the hands. Maybe you can tune into that spiral in the arms while you're here. From that first finger to the opposite side of the inner shoulder. Knees comfortably bent. Feet as parallel as comfortably possible. Inhale here. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, find the arm spirals here. Think of the broadening of the feet. You don't need to think about spirals in the feet now, just lengthening from the root of the toe up to the pelvis, from the pelvis down to the feet. The arms lengthening out and in. And coming back. Good, let's come to the floor on the belly. And again, forehead comfortably down. It might not be as comfortable, forehead down. You might have to get used to that position. Try to take the arms where it helps feel comfortable. Again, I might not have my forehead down just so I can talk to the camera. So, base of that first finger, rooted into the ground, broaden those hands, broaden the feet, the toes are tucked in. Feel the broadness in the feet and the lengthening up the arms, softening the face, softening in and around the pelvic floor and the upper buttock muscles. Lengthening in the arms to help keep those shoulders broad and relaxed down the back. Inhale, straighten one leg, straighten-ish one leg, only going towards straighten, and exhale, take it down. Inhale, other leg comes towards straightness and take it back down. Inhale, one leg, relaxing the upper buttock muscles. And down, and other leg. How much can you soften? How much can you broaden and lengthen and soften? Good, take the tops of the feet down on the floor. Now here your foot spirals can find yourself again as in particular as you push and on inhale into one foot. Feel that go from the base of the first toe, the big toe, out to the side. Your shins kind of come in, and on the exhale, let it release. Inhale, other leg. Push from the big toe out to the pinky toe. Broaden that foot. Relax upper buttock muscles and let that go. Inhale.
exhaling down. Broadening, whatever can be broadened. Lengthening, whatever can be lengthened. And softening, whatever can be softened. Using the strength in those active arms, come on up to all fours. Again, you can cross the ankles or cross the feet, whatever feels good. Find that nice hand position, nice broad hand. Exhale back, hips to the back, to a child's pose. Inhale, coming forward. Finding the length, especially in the arms here, maybe finding that arm spiral from the first finger into the opposite side of the inner shoulder. Can you lengthen through those arms, both directions, as you push back into your child's pose? And at the same time, you're still trying to keep the feet broad, the length happening in the legs, even though they are crossed. And down there. Come back up, tuck the toes. On an exhale, hips up, heels up. Inhale back down. Here's another good place to maybe feel that spiral in the hands. If you don't, it's okay. No reason to force anything. Inhale back up. Maybe as you're up at the top, you can feel a little bit of an emptiness in the pelvic floor. Feel that this time, maybe. And exhale down. Come to standing at the top of your mat. Feet hip width distance. Find the broadenings, find the lengthenings, find the softening, particularly in the face, lips barely touching, pelvic floor, muscles relaxed. On an inhale, feel that internal foot spiral maybe, palms together, external foot spiral. And broadening hands. A little bit of internal foot spiral helps take those hips up, little natural curve. External brings that length up into the front of the body. Only bending the knees as much as feels comfortable, but all the time, even though you're doing the spirals, you're still finding the broadness through the whole foot, through the whole arms. Lengthening. Also from the base of the sacrum into the base of the skull. Letting the breath be smooth and easy. Take the feet out, wider than hip width distance. Maybe feeling that connection to a spiral in the arms. Inhale here. Exhale, bring them down to the hips. Lengthen the spine. Lovely here. Inhale out. Can you find length in the legs, both directions? And exhale in, eyes closed or open, whatever feels comfortable for you. And movements at your own pace, your own breath pace, but comfortably open. Nice big empty lungs and heart. Back muscles relaxed. Shoulders away from ears. Comfortable in the joints, letting go of any tension in the joints, finding length, but looseness around the joints. Good, bend the knees, take the palms together, arms on the thighs. Let's start with an Inhale with the knees bending, and exhale, taking the legs farther towards straighten. Only straighten as much as feels comfortable. Inhale, bending the knees, maybe finding that internal spiral. Exhale, external spiral and lengthen it. And don't let the temptation of letting the arms push the thighs. Let the thighs move themselves. When you get to the top, on an exhale, maybe stay. Lengthen, broaden, soften. Come on down to the floor. All fours. Good chance to tune into the broad hands, tuck the toes. On an exhale, take the hips high, heels are high. Inhale back down, alternating now with heels back and heels towards the floor. Standard down dog. Inhale, back but finding the length. Find the length in the legs, both directions, from the floor to the hips, down from the pelvis into the floor. Find the length from the fingertips into the shoulders, from the shoulders down into the fingertips. Could you maybe find a little spiraling in the arms and the hands? And as you're up at the top, can you find some space, some openness in the pelvic floor, in the heart space, in the chest? And come on to a seat. One foot in front of the other. Try to alternate it occasionally, different times, different foot in front. Arms up to the side, arms contacting the thighs, fingertips on the floor. Spine nice and straight. Think of yourself as sitting a little bit forward on the sit bones. Head right over the rest of the spine. Find breath in the hands, in the feet. Lengthen the arms, lengthening the legs, lengthening the spine, up into the base of the skull, and maybe through the crown of the head. Relax the face. Relax the pelvic floor. Take those hands slightly farther back behind the hips. Fingertips still on the floor. Find yourself a little bit forward on the sit bones. Breathing easily, softly. Take the arms out to the sides. Where can you soften? Even as you're broadening, even as you're lengthening. Let's come up to standing one more time. We're working on those feelings of spiraling, so we'll do a little more of the standing today. Feet hip width distance. Inhaling, bending the knees, bringing the arms forward, spiraling internally. This time hands by the sides, and that external spiral comes into play. Internally, spiraling the legs, broadening, lengthening, feeling that the whole time. Maybe incorporating those
internal and external spirals, maybe not. Reaching forward, letting the hips go up on the exhale. Inhale, back of the hips goes up. On the exhale, the front of the hips straightens out. Own breath, own speed. Lengthening the arms at the same time. Lengthening the legs. Broadening and softening. Come to a little more than hip width distance. Arms out to a T. Find that length in the spine too. Find that breadth. Broadening the hands, broadening the feet, relaxing the face and the pelvic floor. Take the palms together, bend the knees, take the arms to the thighs. This time on an exhale, take the knees bent and the hips down. Inhale, take the legs towards straight and let the torso fall. On an inhale, knees bent and push your torso up towards straightness. On an exhale, let the legs straighten and let the torso relax. Inhale, bending knees, straightening the torso. Exhale, a little straighter in the legs and torso relaxed. Inhale here, maybe you've got an internal foot spiral because you're actually taking your hips down. And exhale, maybe you've got an exhale, a foot spiral, but external. But don't worry if it doesn't come naturally. Give it time. And maybe it will become part of your practice. Super not important if it doesn't. Always listen to your body. And only go as far as you want to in your own body. Tuning in to what it is telling you it knows best. Take the fingertips to the floor. Again, exhale, bend the knees, but maybe the palms come down to the floor. On the inhale, straighten-ish the legs as much as you want. Let the torso hang and the fingertips come up. Exhale, bend the knees, palms down maybe. Inhale, legs towards straightness and up on the fingertips. Exhale, knees bent, maybe an internal foot spiral. Exhale, maybe an external foot spiral. Legs straighten. Inhale, internal, because your hips are coming down. Exhale, because your hips are going up, external. If you need to just stay with thinking about broadening and lengthening and softening around that pelvic floor, stay with that. On an inhale, take the hands to above the knees. Exhale, straighten the arms. Take the arms out to the side. And come on down to the mat. Let's come to all fours. Rooting the base of the rooting the base of the first finger out to the pinky finger. Cross the ankles or feet, whichever way you haven't done. And exhale, come back into your child's pose. Inhale forward. And exhale, take it back, thinking about
lengthening, especially in those arms. Maybe you can get in touch with that little bit of spiral in the length of the arm, while all the time while you're broadening and lengthening the feet, the legs, the hands, the arms, and softening, in particular, the face and the pelvic floor. Come up into all fours, tuck the toes. On an exhale, hips high, heels still high. Inhale back down. Exhale, take it into down dog. Normal down dog, heels down. Really reach with those arms in both directions. Inhale back down. Exhale, hips up, heels up. Inhale down and exhale, hips back, heels back. Inhale down if it feels comfortable. This time hold in hips up and heels up. Can you find the root of your first finger still grounding the whole root of the palm? Maybe you can find some emptiness, some space in the pelvic floor, in the back, in the heart, in the solar plexus. Lips just comfortably touching. Inhale back down and exhale back into a heels down, down dog. Energy in that, in the root of the hands and the length of the arms up and down. Maybe finding some hollowness in the pelvic floor. Soften. Where can you soften? Come on down. And we will take the right leg out. Left knee bent. Hand either on the thigh. Shin. Elbow wrapped around the knee. Secure the heel of the right foot. Sitting up nice and tall. The right arm, fingertips on the floor. Broadening the feet. Broadening the hands. Lengthening and softening. Lengthening up the spine, through the crown of the head, but at the same time finding whatever softness you can. Take that right arm all the way out. Maybe finding that spiral happening in the hands. Where can you soften? Soften the face. Soften the muscles in and around the pelvic floor. Let that relax. Come back on the back. Feet close to the buttocks without using your hands. Find where your arms are comfortable, where you can really root that first finger base, but also find length. On an inhale, take the knees in, cross the ankles. On an exhale, take the feet comfortably up to the sky. Inhale back down. Find the length in the arms to keep the chest open, the shoulders away from the ears. Can you find the length from the base of the sacrum to the root, to the base of the skull, through the crown of the head? Next time, cross the ankles the other way. Find length in those legs from both directions. Maybe you find the thigh muscle getting sucked into the bone. If that's not a reality, don't worry about it. It might happen. Soften the face. Let the feet come to the floor. Gently take yourself back up to a seat. Left leg long, right knee bent, and that right hand wherever it's comfortable. Maybe your elbow wrapped around. Left fingertips on the floor. Left heel grounded, broadening the feet. Broadening the hands. Lengthening and softening. Head right on top of the rest of the spine. Muscles of the face relaxed. Muscles in and around the pelvic floor relaxed. Take the left arm out to the side. Up shoulder height. And let that relax. Come into Dandasana position, both legs out straight, hip width distance. Take both arms out to the sides. Broadening whatever can be broadened. Lengthening whatever can be lengthened. And softening whatever can be softened. Gently come down to the elbows behind you. Hands are on the hips. Chin stays in. Nice gentle back bend here, but at the same time you are activating those feet. Activating those arms. Lengthen the arms can help release in the shoulders. Find the energy from the base of the sacrum up through the solar plexus, up into the throat, up into the base of the skull. Find the energy from the chin along the lower palate, back into the spine. Only if it feels comfortable, you can let the head relax. If you go there and it doesn't feel good, always go back. Mindfully, gently. To come back, use the chin to come back towards the chest. And then come on down to the floor. Knees bent, feet close to the buttocks, arms out to the sides. Rooting your first finger all the way out to the pinky fingers. Energy from the fingertips into the shoulders, from the shoulders down into the fingertips. Base of the big toe out to the pinky toe. Base of the big toe back to the heel, lengthening, broadening. Feel the energy from the feet into the pelvic floor, from the pelvic floor, the hips into the feet. Maybe from the base of the sacrum into the base of the skull, through the crown of the head, and from the chin along the lower palate into the spine. As you have all that broadening and lengthening happening. Relax the face. Relax the muscles in and around the pelvic floor. Maybe the muscles of the face are so soft, so relaxed. I can feel it softening the brain, relaxing the muscles all the way around. Maybe you can feel your navel relaxed in the middle of your body. A sense of hollowness, softness, space. Only one at a time, release the broadening and the lengthening of each limb of the torso. And take your legs long. Maybe cover up with a blanket. And let your body release as it will in its own time. Checking in, where can you soften? Where can you let go? Again, the effectiveness of this practice depends on you spending enough time here in Shavasana to let your body soak it in. I will turn off the video, but please stay, relax, and let your body enjoy.